the 14th of April, I was preparing myself to move to my third shelter since the beginning of Israel's attack on the Gaza Strip on the 7th of October, when I received reports about tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians trying to return to their homes in Gaza City and the northern Gaza Strip through an Israeli checkpoint set up on the Rashid Street in the west of Gaza City. I immediately decided to join them and to go there, but this time not as a journalist covering the events on the ground, but as a forcibly displaced Palestinian who has been away from her home and who is yearning to reach her city where she has grown up and received education. The first thing I did was tear up my business card, delete my WhatsApp conversations and everything that identifies me as a journalist and a human rights worker, given the fact, of course, that dozens of journalists and human rights defenders and workers at international organizations have been killed and targeted since the beginning of the attack. I drove my car there and I was literally racing cars on the road and racing people as my heart preceded me to reach Gaza. Every time I crossed 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, I was becoming very, very hopeful. And I reached a point which I think that was the closest I could reach to Gaza City since the beginning of my displacement on the 13th of October. And at this point, I was recalling memories and narratives of our grandparents who also were forcibly displaced back in 1948 and who said the same sentence we said when we left our homes, which is, it would be 2 or 3 days and we would return to our home, but it's been over 75 years now and they haven't returned to their homes. And I had fears that we would repeat history and we would endure the same suffering as our parents and not decades would pass when we are while we are displaced, and that we would not be able to return to our homes. But at this point, I was becoming hopeful that we are making it. We would not be repeating history. We would not repeat the same experience and they endure the same suffering. But all of these hopes all of a sudden faded when Israeli quadcopters, gunboats and tanks opened fire directly at the tens of thousands of people gathering on Rashid Street, the central Gaza Strip. And there were bombings everywhere, from the air, from the sea, from the ground. People were running for their lives back to the central and southern parts of the Gaza Strip, and I was also among them. I drove my car back and I went to my third shelter in this central Gaza Strip where I am now. Although I'm not sure until when I will stay there, or if I would be displaced again and again or not. I'm not sure if I would be returning soon in the near future, but I'm sure that I would be able and I would be willing to repeat the same experience, although it was terrifying, traumatizing, and disappointing to reach to this point where you could see the buildings from a distance of your home but not be able to reach them. But I think that if I hear again that people were trying to reach their homes and to return to Gaza City, I would absolutely join them again.